Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Central YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in as we continue our interviews with student athletes at Central High School. Tonight, we got the workhorse for the RiverHawk football team, junior running back Gavin Shepard. Gavin, thank you for joining us tonight on the Central YouTube channel.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Gavin, obviously anybody that's been watching the football team knows that Gavin is having a terrific football season. We'll go over his stats here a little bit. 107 carries in 6 games, 558 yards. He has 5 touchdowns. So when you average that all out, he's averaging 93 yards per game, 5.2 yards per carry. I think any running back at any level would take 5.2 yards per carry. Of course, the RiverHawks just coming off of the homecoming win, 23-7 over Toma. Gavin, what were your thoughts on that game, the 23-7 win over Toma?
We went into the game pretty we went into it like any other game, really. We try to go into games thinking about it's just any team, we just gotta go and play us and not really worry about who it's going against.
Just 1-0, right? I hear all the guys talk about that, going 1-0.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Gavin, you had a season high in carries, 24 carries, a season high in yards, 166 yards. You added the touchdown. I need to know, do you ever get tired out there being the workhorse?
Well, it's a 50-50. Every once in a while, every couple of drives, I'll be in the backfield next to Jude and Christian and just think, and I'll even say it to him. I'm like, I am tired. Like I just need a water break, especially if the defense is just beating them up out there. We get out there constantly. It does get tiring, but
And you're taking a hit at the end of each play.
yeah.
Yeah, unless you get to the end zone, which you do quite often anyway. Tell me, just off the top of your head, what have been the keys to your success this year? Obviously, 5.2 yards per carry, 93 yards a game. You're carrying the ball around 20 times each game. What's been the key to your success?
Well, I feel like a lot of it's the O line. I feel like the O line. Most of those guys I've been playing with since I was in third grade, like Caden, Nathaniel. Even though Caden doesn't play too much O line, he still gets in there at the wing. But
Sure.
Caden, Nathaniel, Colton Dunn, all of them I've been running behind, and it's nice to be back there with them. And also, I don't know, there's a lot of work that goes into it that people don't see.
Let's talk a little bit about that work, your off-season training. Obviously, you've gained a lot of muscle mass. You're able to break tackles. I can't recall, Gavin, honestly, I can't recall you going down from one person tackling you. Usually takes a team effort by the opposing team to get you to the ground. What do you do in the off season? What kind of weightlifting program have you been on? I mean, you mentioned the work that not a lot of people see. What does that look like?
Well, for me, it's really powerlifting. I just do a lot of the powerlifting stuff we have throughout the school. And then after powerlifting season, pretty shortly, track comes up and I'm running and lifting every day. It's really just the same powerlifting kind of schedule that I do.
And I see you wearing your state powerlifting shirt representing the powerlifting program, which has obviously paid dividends for you on the football field. I want to talk a little bit about the conditions we had Friday night. It was rainy, it was soggy, it was wet. And as we go forward, we live in Wisconsin, we're going to see some of that weather. Hopefully we're playing long enough that we have to start worrying about snow too. What are the keys to playing in bad weather?
Oh, well, I feel like starting prepared for it, wearing the right attire and just going into it knowing it's going to be a cold game, or understanding that you got to work that week on holding the ball differently, and just like your cleats are ready to take those cuts and all that kind of stuff.
Do you ever have to change cleats if it gets real wet, or do your cleats pretty much hold up throughout the game?
Well, I normally rock the same cleats throughout the game, and this week we were actually using some newer cleats that were donated to the program. But I brought 2 pairs of cleats to this game thinking I might, but at halftime I didn't feel the need to, so it really wasn't that big of a issue.
Always good to be prepared, and I suppose it's different depending on the type of surface you're playing on too. The turf at UWL compared to the grass that we'll see Friday at Holman might change what pair of shoes you have to wear, so it's good to always be prepared. I want to talk about a little bit about your backfield partner, Christian Rudrud. I've mentioned a couple times on the broadcast how you guys complement each other so well back there. You're kind of the guy that can get inside yardage, can pound the box a little bit, and then Christian is a guy that can get to the outside, can get to the edge. We've seen him get to the edge and look like he shot out of a cannon as he flies down the sideline. What is it like playing with somebody back there that's just as capable as you are of carrying the rock?
I mean, I have experienced with it. Just throughout my years, I have, like, I think it was fifth grade, or no, it was sixth grade. Sorry. I had another running back that was in the backfield with me, and we both kind of took turns doing that. And then last year, me and Jude were kind of started that duo backfield up at Central again. And now with Christian, I mean, it's great to have somebody else to lean on to do some of the other work, and being able to give it to him and him hit that outside and go when I'm not ready for it or I'm tired. And also, I feel like people don't notice a lot of the times that, like, on the ISO that we run and a lot of those runs, he's lead blocking for me. He's also going up the middle and hitting people, but he does get to that outside and kind of get going.
That's a really good point. I suppose both of you have to be able to block for each other, and that's part of the success that you have. So thank you for bringing that up. In fact, I don't think we've ever even mentioned that on the broadcast, but I'm going to be watching for both of you guys with your blocking in the backfield this Friday. Let's talk about this Friday a little bit. We're going up to Holman. What do we know about Holman? I know you're just getting done with practice. Did you talk about Holman at all? Have you seen any film on him? What do we know about him?
Well, Mondays like today are normally meant for, like, the new install that we're having this week. So since it is Monday, we did have like a little film session watching on them and talking about their defense and how they will change it up when we are there, and just kind of the way to look at it for this week of how they're going to line up.
And you think it's going to be a slobber knocker, a good game on Friday night?
I mean, I always hope it'll be just a knockout kind of game, but I mean, any team can give you that kind of competition, and I mean, they have all the needs too. Just depends on how they play it and how we do too.
Yeah, there you go. And any night, anything can happen. We know that in the MVC, especially. Can't take any game for granted. You know those Vikings will be ready for you. So we'll have to bring our A game in order to come out victorious on Friday night. Joel and I will be there on Friday night to cover the game. I hope everybody that's not at the game is able to tune in and watch. Other things we have going on this week. Tomorrow night, we are at Sparta for the boys soccer team, as this is kind of soccer week, even though we're doing a football interview here. We're at at Sparta for soccer tomorrow night. Really excited about that. And then Wednesday night, we're going to be covering the ASL versus boys soccer exhibition game, and that will be at 4:00. Kickoff at 4:00 for that game. So make sure you tune in early or tune in from work or whatever your schedule looks like at 4:00 on a Wednesday. Make sure you tune in for that. Gavin, I want to thank you for giving us your time tonight. Give us a little insight into Central backfield. It's been fun watching the successes you've had so far. Keep it going, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
And to all our viewers, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about Gavin Shepard. We're going to have some more interviews coming up for you, so be on the lookout for us posting those here real shortly. Have a good night.